Hi there, and welcome to TR Reality After Chemo. We are waiting for our guests to arrive. I'm hoping everybody could hear me. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Please stand by. We're waiting for our guests to arrive. Please stand by. We're waiting for our guests to arrive. Thank you, Binge Thinker. I had the feedback because I have my phone volume on. I just turned my phone volume off, so you shouldn't be hearing any type of feedback. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yes, I spoke to our guest a few minutes ago. She said she would be here. I talked to her about 15 minutes before the show. And like everyone, I send this stuff anywhere from 45 minutes to 30 minutes before the show. Miss B Town, I don't know how to make you a mod. I put my cursor on your pic and it wanted to hide you, and I didn't want that. I didn't want that. So I don't know how to do it. So when we get off the air, um, I'm gonna have to go on YouTube and take a short class on how to do this. Number two, what? Oh, for those that are in the chat, I appreciate if you hit that like button. How's everyone doing today? It's very cold here. It's like 16 degrees. Woo! I'm blessed to have a roof over my head, and those that are listening to me have a roof over their head, so they're blessed too. During the wintertime, I'm a little depressed for the people the homeless. I don't like going outside because I see the homeless. Not a lot because I don't live in an area where there is a lot of homeless. But the town that I live in, there's a lot of homeless. So you have to go through different areas to get there. Okay, please stand by again. We're waiting for our guests to arrive. Um, she's not showing up here where I see her. You can't see them. What do you mean you can't see what? Ben Stinker, yeah. Even for me to get up to do this broadcast, you fall asleep when it's time for you to get up. You know how that works. And I was so warm and cozy and on the couch. And my daughter was on the other part of the couch and she was sleeping. I mean, she was kicking it. And then I had to boot her up off there. Plus, she's not feeling good today. And then I had to boot her up off the couch to go upstairs in her bed so that I could do this broadcast. We're waiting. Our special guest is Lady T. Lady T, where are you? The topic is about Lady T. Lady T is not only a part of, it appears to be the beast sector, but she also has talent, and her talent is she's part of the arts, the entertainment arts. And entertainment arts meaning as acting, poetry, stuff like that. She's been in a couple of plays, and I don't want to spill all the beans, but when she comes on, you'll be able to hear her journey. Yes. For those that are just entering the chat, our special guest today is Lady T. They can hear everything. Oh boy. It's not showing that she's not here, and she didn't call me to tell me that she's not coming in. Okay, B Town, that'll be great. Man, it is so cold. All I hear is my furnace keep kicking on, keep kicking on. But I'm not complaining because I'm glad it's kicking on because last month it wasn't kicking on at all, and I had to get PSE&G in here to fix the water pump or something in dealing with the furnace. And thank God I had the water, the worry free, so I didn't have to pay anything. So it's worth getting the insurance on your appliances. Those that are entering the chat, push that button, that thumbs up button or thumbs down, whatever you choose, or push the button for me, please. I'm going to give it a few more minutes, and if she doesn't come on, then we're going to create our own live, okay? Can you guys still hear me? Those that are in the chat are use content creators. Please put a one. Put a one by your name so people that come in, they can check you out. We have 3 more minutes. Believe it or not, right now we're also streaming from Facebook as well live. So I really hate for her to miss out on this chance because not only are we streaming from one end, we're also streaming from Facebook Live. Hmm. I'm going through the news. For one, how was everybody's Martin Luther King Day yesterday? Did you take a day of rest? Did you think about the dream that he was prophetically given and how far away we are away from that dream? Um, Something I think he would have been in his 80s, if I'm not mistaken. He would have been in his 80s if he was still alive. If anyone ever saw the movie The Irishman on Netflix, you need to watch it. It has Robert De Niro. What's the guy that played in Scarface? He was in it. A lot of top actors were in it. Joe Pesci, and it kind of explains about Martin Luther King, Robert Kennedy, Malcolm X, all that in the movie, and it's like a movie, but a documentary, and Hoffman, and you get to find out what actually happened, and you can understand who was behind Kennedy, John F. Kennedy, Robert Kennedy, Malcolm X, and Martin Luther King. They were all assassinated by the same syndicate. Yeah, something that we didn't even know. And now they are able to get a little more deeper into it because I do believe that JFK's brain was is able to be released now for them to do studies, and with the equipment and technology today, they can bring things more to a point. I relaxed all day too, B Town. I did. I relaxed all day, and I did a little bit of thinking because I'm thinking about my channel, and thinking about my channel. I needed to see what I could do to change it and what's lively so that I can attract people to it. So, for those that are just coming on, welcome to TR Reality After Chemo TV. I also have a side channel called Ms. That's M as Mary, Z as in zebra, space, T as in Tom, R as in Robert. And there you will find news, movies, what's upcoming, and me rating movies. Like the next hot movie that's up that I put up was a face of was a face of grace. Ugh, it's a slight thriller, nothing too much over the board to have you scared, but enough to have you get a little angry and anxiety and have your heart pounding a little bit. Don't no spoilers here, but I gave it a 5 star, and not because it was Tyler Perry either. I gave it a 5 star because the movie was just that good. Okay, it appears that our guest is not coming in. She did ask me, was it Central Time? I told her no, it was Eastern Standard Time. And she said, okay, she'll be there. So, but she's not. And I didn't get any phone calls. Let me check my email, guys. Let me just check my email to see if she sent me something. Nope, other than she telling me at 11:26, thanks, I'll be there. So, I don't know what happened. And she didn't call me, but we're gonna move forward because we're not gonna waste this live. We're not gonna waste this live at all. Nah, I'm not gonna do that. So other than everybody relaxing, let me give you the 411 on on wait a second, let me put something up here. Uh let me put this up here. Come on, come on. There we go. Um, Wendy Williams is in big trouble, right? With her mouth always saying something. They put out a petition to get Wendy Williams fired, and it's by the thousands that are set up a petition. And it was about that actor, Jaquan Phoenix, the one that played in The Gladiator. He also played the Joker, which I heard was an excellent movie. He's the one with the a sign. I don't know if it was he had a cleft palate or not, but he has the markings as if he had a cleft palate repair. And they took it that she was mocking that, and the cleft palate community got on her. And one guy, an actor who had it, and his son had it, was having it or was in surgery to have it corrected, and he said he forgave her. But oh, Cher, like Sonny and Cher said she wasn't having it. She was like with Wendy off with her head. She said Wendy should have known better. And she says a lot of these families and these kids go through so much, a lot of pain. And the parents go through a lot of pain because they don't know what to do for their kid. And not everyone has the money to get it corrected. So Wendy said, I'm sorry. And she's going to donate money to the cleft palate and Children Smile fundraising. Whoopie doo, right? That's why we all have to be, eager to listen and slow to speak. Because once you speak out those words and they're negative, you can't bring them back. It's already out there in the universe. And for her I heard what she said. I didn't take offense to it, but then again, I'm not from the cleft palate community either. But we really, when we're on TV or when we're on social media, we really have to be careful what we say because it could be offensive to many and you can get in big trouble. You can even get killed. You could lose your job. There's a lot of things that you can get in trouble for with that. So they took out a big petition and thousands, not hundreds, thousands are asking for her job. And she just got her job back. So she's a little bit on her P's and Q's right now, I guess. I guess. I don't know, but I do know that she's in hot water, and rightfully so. She needs to, be careful what comes out of her them lips. And she got a lot of nerve to be talking about somebody. She hasn't been looking too great lately. She has no room to talk about anybody's flaws. You know, um, Heck no. Me, I'm fat. So why I'm gonna sit there and make fun of somebody when I got flaws? I'm not perfect. I'm fat and old. I'm fat and old, and half of the time can't remember stuff. So, we really need to be careful what we say about people. What else is in the news? Um, I guess, there's a lot going on in my town, which I'm sure you wouldn't be interested in, and that lately has been nothing but crime. But then again, that's all over. So that was good there. So for those who haven't seen the new Tyler Perry movie of Faith of Grace, it's really cool. It's really cool to go see it. It's worth sitting up in your living room with a bag of chips or ice cream or pretzels. You got to be munching on something, crackers with cheese. Treat yourself and watch this. Truly watch this. And as far as what's happening on the YouTube streets, the beef sector, I'm not in with the beef sector like that. So I get little bits and pieces. But I do know this much that YouTube is making big demands. So those that are in the beef sector, you're going to have to learn how to put real, as they consider real content out, and bashing people, beefing, and thinking it's gagging. It's now considered uh, internet bullying. hmm Because it's coming down to doxing people and looking up their information. May not be doxing, but now you're going out of your way to look up where these people live, who's in their family, which is, openly on the internet, but still, you shouldn't be looking for these people. Are you kidding me? And then when it happens to you, you don't like it or you run to the police, which I don't blame you because people are crazy. They go out their way to get the information. Next thing you know, they're sitting out your door. People are crazy today. That's why you really need to be careful of what you say online. People aren't playing, aren't feeling it. They're not feeling it like that. So you really have to be careful. Okay, I see that a lot of people are coming up here and got their live going, and my guest didn't show. Hmm. Wow. Just wow. So I'm gonna look at what we got going on here. Let's see, do we have anybody who just entered the chat? Oh, Lady T, I thought we were going on at 1 Eastern. No, sweetheart. We've been on here a whole half hour waiting for you. 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. Check all your emails. Even on the flyer it says 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. You could still come on. Are you going to come on, Lady T? Okay. Okay, so there was a mix up. She thought I was coming on. We were coming on at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, not 12. No, Miss B Town, beefing and gagging is not real talent. It really isn't. Beefing and gagging means insulting people. Even when they do it on TV, it's insulting people. How is that funny sitting back and insulting people? Sitting back and insulting people is really bullying. That's bullying. Think about when you were in school and someone was picking with you. That's bullying. They insult you, they do things. The only thing on YouTube, they can't physically touch you, but they touch you through the internet. So that's not good. It's not good at all, and I don't like it. All right, maybe it says it's going live at your on your end because you must be in a time difference, which is 12 o'clock my time might be 1 o'clock your time. But my flyer, can you drop the link? I sent it to you via email. I sent it to you already. I'm not going to drop it down in here in the chat because that means it's open for anybody to come in, and I don't want that. It's just going to be you and I. Oh, here she is. Let me put her on.
I'm so
Hi.
sorry. I didn't want to come
Oh,
on.
here she
I
is.
wanted to show my
Let me
face, but I'm not going
put
to come
her
on with a
on.
headscarf on.
Oh, okay. Do you have headphones on?
No, I don't have headphones on. Let me get my headphones.
Okay.
Do you need headphones? I just it shouldn't be a feedback
Okay.
anymore. Do you
Okay.
hear?
No. I
Okay.
thought I heard a feedback.
Yeah, I had you I had you on another screen, so I just shut down that screen. I wanted to come on with my face showing, and but we're not in a time difference
I
because
don't know.
if it's Eastern Standard, it's Eastern Standard. I commented on one of your videos asking that question, and but I'm so sorry. I'm here now. My apologies.
Yeah, because
I moved on years ago. Hmm?
if you look at the flyer, it'll say 12 noon.
It says
Everybody,
12, but it didn't say what time zone. So I had asked what time zone, and then
and
when
they,
I saw the video, like I saw that it was scheduled to go up, like it said Lady T live, like not the one that you promoted, but the one that shows that you're gonna be going live when you scheduled it. I would have
okay.
said one, so I apologize. I would have been here.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, because we were just making chit chat, and I was like, well, I guess there's nothing. I waited, and we were going to shut it down. But here, no, dear. How are you today?
Say that again.
How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
We're good. We're good. Everyone, our guest is here, and welcome to TR Reality After Chemo. Our guest is Lady T. So it all worked out in the wash anyway. Okay, there are people here in the chat, and I'm sure they're going to be coming. I asked for all questions to wait, and I'll read them at the end because what it does when I start answering or when she starts answering the questions, it kind of will throw the person off, and then we'll be on here forever instead of getting right to the point. And then we start going in rabbit holes here and there and never getting right to what is going on. Okay, folks? Well, Lady T, I read your bio, and you have been in the entertaining world.
Yes, yes, I have.
Yes, although I see you in the B sector. Now, the B sector, is that just for fun, or you're really involved in that?
I actually I'm I fell in here like most people. You kind of stumble upon it, you find it to be amusing, and then you kind of, some people decide to stay and some people say, "Oh, you know what, this is a little bit too much. Let me go on and exit left." So I'm pretty much in the process of exiting left. I will support the people that, I've been supporting, but it would be in regards to their content that's a little more upbeat, uplifting, not so derogatory. If you can catch my drift.
Oh, no, no, no. I catch it. I catch it because I was just talking about it before you went on that YouTube is changing a lot of things right now.
Mhm.
And one of the things is that beefing, and people think that is entertainment, but it's really internet bullying.
Yes.
And you're going to have to come up with real content like it was back in the day.
Hmm.
And although people on the internet cannot physically touch you, but they're able to touch you in ways that can really be dangerous, like doxing. And even though some of that stuff may be already on the internet, why would you go and look up a person? What would be the purpose unless you're going to be stalking? What is the purpose of looking up?
It
You
absolutely
know,
makes no sense.
there is no reason to look up, even though it's posted. You can look up and find out a lot about me.
Hmm.
But if you came to my door, that could be a problem because I have a bunch of family that in this house that are law enforcement.
Hmm.
So if you come to my door, would it be in law enforcement? That means you're stalking a police officer.
Oh
That's a
wow.
Oh yeah, that's a federal. You'll be in time, big time. And that's not speaking when they put your butt in jail, what the officers there are going to do to you.
And
You
not everybody's families in law enforcement. Some people family enforces law.
know, they have the legal right to enforce it right then and there.
Right, so
So you
yeah.
stepping on, you stepping on rice paper. You can't be doing stuff like that. And not only that, Lady T, why? What is the purpose? I had a neighbor that knew everyone's business. She had no friends, okay? No friends. And I live in a complex. I own my co-op.
Hmm.
And there are rows, if almost like condos, co-ops, they're in rows. And when people see me, they will always speak to me, but they would never speak to her. But they will run by me real fast, like, "Oh, I hope Miss TR don't say anything other than hi." And when I asked them, I said, "Well, when you go by and when I'm with her, why?" She says, "Oh, she's nothing but a troublemaker." So I busted out laughing. I said, "Yeah, I know." I said, "But she's my friend. I love her. But there's people that I know how to shut her down."
Hmm. Hmm.
When she starts telling me this one has Section 8 and this part has this, and I'd be like, "Oh, really? Well,
What
good for
part
them."
of where are you
I
located?
live in Patterson, New Jersey, where the
Okay,
movie Lean on Me was made.
mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Where Victor Cruz is from and all this other stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in New
So
York, so I'm
New
familiar.
York. Okay, so yeah. And she would tell me things. And I would say to her, "Okay, that's nice." And I go, "Well, for you not to be hanging with anybody, how do you know all their business?"
Oh,
Oh, and she would say, "Well, I know." And I was like, she must be ear hustling, you know, or
most
something.
times in those situations is ear hustling. They do something a little bit different here on these streets.
Uh-huh. And to me, my thing is like, okay, that's good for them. It goes right up over my head or underneath my feet because you know why? I don't care.
Hmm.
I rather for my sister to be able to get help instead of her children starving. Why shame her by letting her people know that she gets help? It's none of your business.
Hmm. Hmm.
I have no shame. I used to be on welfare. I struggled with my daughter. but I also struggled to get up off of it. And God knows I had a very bad experience with it. I almost went to jail, and you can't even get me to get food stamps. I'm like, hell
Oh, when
to
you
the no.
go into those offices, the way that you're treated, you mean?
Not only, no. What it was is that while I was on welfare for 1 month in the wintertime, I got a part-time job so I can give my daughter a Christmas. And
Oh.
I didn't report that whole
Mhm,
month of money.
mhm.
I ended up in court with shame. I'm so glad they didn't put my name in the newspaper, because at one time they were putting people for fraud in the newspaper.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yes, and I ended up there, and I thought it was so wrong because I wasn't getting any child support, and they knew where the father was at,
Mm-hmm.
and
And this is before they
everything.
started enforcing that whole, the fault. You have to drop the father's socials and stuff like that, because that's like
And
really
I
enforced.
gave them all the information, and then we're talking about in the 70s. My daughter's like 46 years old,
Mm-hmm.
and see, I got upset because it's like, I told the judge, I'm in the courts fighting for survival. He's running around with a full-time job and a nice car, driving, leaning to the side. Here
Mm-hmm.
I am walking, holes in the bottom of my shoes, trying to hustle and not doing anything I thought was illegal. And what kept me from not going to jail? Two of the investigators knew me personally,
Mm-hmm.
and they wouldn't. They said, "No, we're not. No, we're not sending her there. We know this woman. We know how." They both of them stood up for me, so
Mm-hmm.
I got a fine. And when I got that fine, okay, it took me 12 years to pay that fine off. They
I know
took
a lot
every
of moms
income
do that
tax. They took
story.
every income tax check that I made,
Mm-hmm.
everything, because the fine was so high and the interest that it was only pennies to pay back the money, but the fine was horrendous. It took me close to 15 years to pay it.
I'm going through
So,
something similar in regards to my taxes because my sister, she has an ailment and she would be in and out of the hospital. So I had my nieces. They're much older now, but this is how long it's taken me to get out of this hole.
mm-hmm,
I had my nieces. I took care of them with my part-time job, working at a after school program, and I wasn't receiving any help outside of like what my mom and my other sister would contribute, but I wasn't getting food stamps or anything along those lines. But I was trying to take care of these two girls. And so when my sister was doing better, she took back over her rightful place. And I had moved on and got my own place. And that year I decided to file taxes. And I was rightful, like I should have been able to claim them on my taxes. It wasn't one of those type of situations where people pay you to put the children.
right. I understand. Yeah, that it wasn't that type of
I
fraud.
literally I'm braiding hair, I'm greasing scalps, I'm cooking chicken. I'm taking them to the library, I'm taking them to the school, I'm taking them to the doctor. This was around the same time my niece had a accident at school. That her finger got chopped off. They had to kind of like repair it. So every day I'm, putting the gauze. Like I'm their mom, essentially
You were their caregiver.
caregiver, but I'm taking on all the roles that a mom would have taken on. And so, and they were very, very young. Man, their father, who's done nothing for them, they're in their 20s, and I can count on my two hands the times that he's been to New York. He lives in DC. Okay. We're talking about what, the China bus to New York. And you had two parents who lived here, so you didn't even have to pay for the hotel. I can count, and they're grown now. 10 times, less than 10 times he's been to New York to see them. He decides to claim them on his taxes.
And he has done nothing.
Not a thing.
But they audited you.
Yep. And
Yeah.
I gave them all the information that they were living with me, that my sister I provided the my sister handed over her HIPAA information showing that she was in the hospital.
Well, what happened once you proved your case?
No, they didn't accept the appeal. Everything that they asked for, I gave them. They asked for a notarized letter. They asked for like proof. What was
So you're telling me that he got over with the money?
Yep.
And you had to pay back?
Yes, and I've been paying back.
Yeah, it takes a while. Once you get into that rabbit hole, it is what it is. So people take it as a lesson. There's always ways to make money. Believe me, in honest living. You could do it here on YouTube. What's the thing that one thing on YouTube, you find a niche and you go with it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm blessed where I have what they say, I have a lot of talents, but I'm not mastered in any of them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because of my age. My age group, we were taught how to do things like that because we were taught how to be homemakers.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I could knit.
Mm-hmm.
I could crochet.
Mm-hmm.
I could sew. Now, I'm not a seamstress, but I could sew. I could make an outfit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I could do that. I'm pretty good in cooking.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty good in baking. Only thing I can't do is hair. That's the only thing creativity I can't do is hair. Everything else I could do.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no. I'm not good at putting things together because I don't have patience in reading the direction. I get pissed off and I want to look at the pictures and put them together. I don't have that kind of patience. But there's enough room to eat on these streets, on YouTube streets, the streets where you're at. You just find a need and do it. There's no need to rob, steal,
Mm-hmm.
and try to destroy anyone.
Mm-hmm.
Because karma comes back, and when it comes back, it comes back much more than what you gave out, and it's just not worth it. And the super sad part is, Lady T,
Mm-hmm.
it may not come back to you, but it'll come back to a loved one.
Mm.
Karma doesn't always have to be with you. It could be with your kids.
Mm-hmm.
It could be with your home. It could be with anything. So this B sector, I'm hope that is starting to fade out a little bit, because one thing about African American people or the Black people, we don't see any other type of racial, say, sector, Caucasian, Filipino, whatever. You don't see them biting at each other like that. They just find something and they create it and find a need. You find the Mexican, shoot, they'll buy some ice cream, get a little truck, and hook it to a bike and sell it. Sell what's on there. If there's a will of the way, it's you find a need and you meet it. You meet it. And like with me, I don't know how to do graphics arts.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a need. That means I need to find someone to make me a logo, to do an intro. If there's a need, there's a way to make money. My daughter, when she gets her own apartment, she's going to have to hire someone to clean the house because that's something that she don't do. She won't even pick up a rag to wash a dish. I'm scrambling around here. It's like, and on top of that, she's a pack rat. So you can imagine what I'm always around here doing. And if I sneak anything out, I have to do it when she's not around.
Oh, because she gets upset.
Yes.
That's not a little background about me before I say what I'm gonna say. I do have my BA in psych and I have my master's in public administration. So I will say that being a pack rat and that sort of thing could be a sign of OCD, which is an anxiety. I hate to say the word disorder, but it has to deal with anxiety, like anxiety issues. And so on one side of the scale, you have OCD, the people who are always are cleaning and they're like ritualistic and they constantly have to keep things clean. There's a whole nother side of the scale when it comes to OCD where
but I can't keep up with it. It's too overwhelming for me. I can't keep up with it. But she was like that as a child. She would see a pretty rock on the ground and pick it up and put it in her pocket. But one thing I can say, she's a giver. She'll collect something, put it in storage and hear somebody needing it and go out in the storage and say, here, it could be furniture, it could be anything. Say, oh, I got that. You need that? I got that.
Mhm.
Because she's always thinking of someone else.
Mhm. I have
Yeah.
a family member the same way. She's a pack rat. I can't really go to her house. I used to go to her house and clean it up. And then I would come back like a week later and I'm just like, what the, how, like how?
They don't see it. They don't see it. They'll see something on the floor and instead of picking it up, they'll step over. They really don't see it.
Mhm.
They don't see it. But about you and your poetry, now you write your own poetry or you just have this thing of just speaking it, spitting it?
I write it. There's times when I don't write down all of them. A lot of times one will come to my mind and I don't even bother writing it down. And I think that I don't know what that's about. I feel like sometimes I too am a jack of all trade, master of none, because it just dawned on me. I would actually say the thoughts came to me yesterday that I really needed to start writing down my poetry because it'll come to me and sometimes I don't write it because it comes to me so often that I don't feel like I'm like, okay, another one will come. I have that kind of and that's not cool. Like when God gives you a gift, you really should hone it and respect it. I kind of take it for granted, some of the talents and stuff like that. So I need to start writing them down more often.
You just put a notebook by the bed because a lot of times you'll get it and it'll be in a dream or something and you'll be laying there and you'll be putting it all together.
Well,
And then when you go to sleep and then when you wake up, sometimes it's not there anymore.
my dream ones I do. I keep a book by the bed. Those get down or whatever ideas I have, because not always poetry. It's like a lot of things. Like most of the time, that's when I'll get an idea for someone's graphics. And when I do the graphics, they're really like God sent. Like I'll see it like clear, but sometimes the unfortunate thing is that sometimes, well, not unfortunate, but sometimes God doesn't move when I want him to move when it comes to it, because it's like, I have this deadline and you didn't give me any kind of vision of what it should look like yet, and then he'll hit me with it. I usually make my deadlines, but it's just like sometimes I could use it a little bit.
A little quicker, Lord. I just need a little bit quicker. I don't always like working the last minute.
Yeah, I don't like
now you're an actress as well.
Yes.
Now, how is that? You have a good memory to remember your lines?
Well, I think the memory I do have a good memory for most things, or especially that came, a lot of that came with my dance training, because you had to remember, like I had my dance training precedes
your choreography.
Precedes my theater endeavors. So we would have to remember, like from 4 years old, I started and like really heavy into dance. Like 7 years old, you had to remember all that choreography, not just the choreography, the dance terminology, the warm-ups, because the warm-ups, you would do pretty much the same warm-up and then that teacher would increase on those warm-ups. So not just the warm-ups, but the choreography. So I would remember a lot. And that's why so many like musicians and dancers and people in the theater arts do well in school, because you have to retain information. It trains your brain to retain information. So
yeah. Now, you're as far. Did you do ballet?
I took ballet, modern, jazz, a bit of African, not much tap, but pretty much all of the different dance.
Now, do you know point?
Yeah, I was on point at one point. Yeah.
You were on point. Well, wait, what age were you doing point?
I started point at, I want to say like 16, 17. And then
Okay.
we would have some classes at, when I was at Howard for dance, we had our ballet class, we had to go on point. Yeah.
Yes, I was so, because my grandchildren had taken, my youngest granddaughter had taken ballet, and I was wondering when they were going to teach the young ones point. And she's African American. She says she doesn't like giving the girls or the guys
Yeah,
point at a very young age because they're still growing and it could ruin the
it
bones.
can ruin the bones. Absolutely.
And I see a lot of the Caucasians and the Asians, they're starting their kid off with points at like 3 and 4 years
Yeah, they're
old.
on point at 3 and 4 years old, but their careers are over at 20 something years old. If you pay attention to the dancers in Ailey, they're going into their 50s.
Okay.
They're dancing into their 50s, you know?
Yeah, I said, and I seen pictures of a ballerina's feet. Ooh, they're not pretty. They
No.
go through a lot of, oh my gosh,
Yeah,
talking
they're
about
made with
bunions
wood. It's wood
and
on the bottom of those point shoes. So you're like
yeah,
standing up on a block of wood. My feet would bleed sometimes.
and not only that, you're even if you didn't have the block of wood, you have the foam in there, but still, that's your weight
Hmm.
on them toes.
Hmm.
And it just was like, wow. I never realized until she says, no, no. She says, my girls no point, but she started teaching them when they were like 17.
Yeah, my
Hmm.
I wonder what dance school were you
I forgot the name of it. It was so long ago, but it was on Teaneck Road in Teaneck.
oh really? Was it I want to say the name so bad because I had a dance teacher who used to have the same philosophy and she used to work in TNET. I want to
Hmm.
go behind the scenes and I'll see if it's the same woman.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yep, I forgot the name of the dance, but it's right there on Teaneck Road and
Hmm.
Teaneck.
I wonder if it was the same woman.
Yeah, black woman.
Nina, maybe?
I don't remember her name being Linda. I don't even. I could see her face,
No,
but I
not
mean,
Linda, Nina. I'm gonna
I.
send you a picture, and I'm gonna send you a picture of who I think it might be, and you.
Uh,
But yeah, she's the teacher neck, and
yeah.
that's philosophy.
So, and now, what plays were you in? Or in as far
Um,
as theater?
well, I haven't like done it as an adult. The last play that I did as an adult was for Color Girls, who considered Suicide When the Rainbow Was Enough. I've done theater at Howard. Like I took theater classes, but you had to be a part of the repertory company in order to actually perform there. And it was a very select few who got to do that. A lot of us got to take the workshops. Like every Friday, Felicia Rashad would come and would give the workshops. You know, we would all be able to kind of participate, like watch it like a lecture demonstration and kind of.
Well, wasn't she part of the Color Girls
Well, that play has
or
been
her
on.
sister Deborah?
Well, Felicia Rashad was a part of For Color Girls with Tyler Perry. That play's been put on hundreds of thousands of times. Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's a very old one. It's a very old one.
hmm
Consider all the stuff that he's doing now. That's like way back.
hmm
Hmm. So, do you still enjoy doing stuff like that, or it was just a phase that you went through? You
Well,
did it, and that's it.
I was teaching theater arts and dance up until I was third, ooh,
Until you were what?
up until 39. I just recently stopped teaching theater arts and dance. I was teaching some little ones out of my home for a period of time, but I need to get a studio. But I was teaching up until maybe 3, 4 years ago. Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. So and what was your purpose of doing that? Something to help. Was there something where they troubled girls? What it was something to get them involved in for recreation? What was the purpose of you doing that?
It depended on the organization. Some organizations, like my students that were at the PAL, they had a lot of issues and a lot of troubles, but it was an after school program. So it just due to the neighborhood, yes, some of them had troubles, but my purpose was that's my passion. That's my true passion. Before the graphics, like I'm known in this sector and on YouTube primarily for my graphics, but my true passion is working with youth. And I don't have a specification in regards to working with troubled youth or at-risk teens. Um, my joy is to work with youth, period. But depending on their, what agency I was with, would determine the type of children that I was working with. So
Mm-hmm.
at this one particular agency, they were in Harlem. Yes, they were. They were in Harlem. They were. But they would come from all a lot of different places. Like I had kids who came from Queens, from Jersey, from Brooklyn, and then a good majority of them were from Harlem. And interestingly enough, those kids were kind of handpicked. They had different income levels, but their parents were the woman who ran the program. She really cultivated that program because she wanted an arts and enrichment program, and although she would be interviewing the kids, she was really interviewing the parent to see if they were going to be involved, if they were going to be a partner with her, you know? And so that experience was different because the kids there, it varied from kids who were going to be just fine to those who, you had to really make sure that they were, you paid extra attention to them because you knew that they could be wayward. But all of those kids, from when I was a child in that particular program and continuing now, over 90% go to college. Whether they finish or not, is to be determined, but they all enroll in college. Like
Mm-hmm.
I really can't think of, I can only think of maybe 3 in a 30-year span that didn't.
Oh, I see. Now, I thought about teaching adults like some type of dancing, even say like Caribbean dancing, reggae dancing, and put it into exercise moves
That was
where
going
they move.
that's happening. That's gonna happen on my channel. I'm waiting to hear back from one of my former students who I want to join me in doing that endeavor. But I absolutely, that's my next goal. Like when I stopped teaching the children, and at one point with me teaching, it wasn't that I wasn't working with children anymore. I just went on to be a site director. So I had people on my staff that taught the classes. But my next endeavor was to get women who my goal is to get women who've never danced before or may have danced when they were very, very young to get back into it and like kind of tour some of the New York City festivals when it comes around in the summertime and get them moving. Yeah.
Yeah, and the Caribbean music is good for that because you could dance slow or fast. It's moving the pelvic and the hips and the legs, and and it's a movement that even the elderly can do.
Mm-hmm.
And I see at least they're elderly. I'd be like, dang, they get now. I'm big on reggae. I would in my 80s. I was a reggae dancer.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I the kind of stuff that they do now is really not what reggae when they be twerking because the twerking and all that other kind of stuff came from looking at the African and the Caribbean how they would do it.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's where I first saw it, and it just looks so provocative. It just look
Mm-hmm.
because you could take someone who does Hawaiian dancing and they do certain smooth moves and it's not provocative. And then you take twerking, all they're doing almost the same thing, but it's hard. It's like in a harder form and it looks so provocative.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I love to see the Hawaiians dance. They dance in sign language. And that's something that I used to do, dance in sign language in the church.
Okay, like a praise dancing.
Yes, but I did it in sign language. Yeah, way before they started doing sign language, it was frowned upon.
Mm-hmm.
People were just starting to allow mime, and I wasn't doing mime. I was doing sign language. However, mime is part of sign language too.
Mm-hmm. I have two cousins. They do that mime. They're older now, but in their younger days, would do the mime in the church, and they were really, really good. They did it at my grandmother's funeral, and I will never forget it. They were good. They were very good.
Yeah, the first time I did it with a crowd was at my grandfather's funeral, and my brother was like, when they announced my name, my brother was like, "What is she getting ready to do? Oh no, she's gonna make a fool of herself." And my sister said, "No, no, 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 no. I don't think so." And then when I did it, everybody was like, their jaw had dropped. They were like, because at that time they never seen anything like that before. So it was like the liturgical dancing with a little bit of mime and sign language to correct. And by the time I got done, people were crying. It really touched their heart.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Hmm. But when I am a cancer survivor, and then when I got sick, I don't have it in me anymore. I did it for years, and I taught the meaning of colors, what they mean, because with everything with God, there's a meaning. The grass isn't green just because it's green. There's a reason behind it being green, health wise, what it means. Everything has a meaning. God doesn't create things just to be having it there. He has some type of structure and meaning behind each one. So when you learn that, and when you see colors and when you see different things, you look at it differently than before just seeing, okay, yeah, the grass is green. No, the grass means life. It gives life. It has a chlorophyll. It has this, has that in it. It brings good health. It's, good health. It brings wealth. There's a lot of meanings into a lot of different things. So what other talents do you have?
Um, Outside of the
As far as the entertainment?
and the graphics, I'm
Well,
a
graphics isn't entertainment. That's more techie. We're going to get into that in a minute.
in terms of talents. There's the graphic design,
Okay.
um, and I'm a good writer outside of just poetry. I write well for like business proposals and just any form of writing. To be honest, a lot of people got their degrees due to my.
Oh, good, 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 good. You were a help. You were a
Yeah,
help
you
to
would
to
be
your community. That's good. That's good. Now, as far as your techie skills,
Mhm,
now I was checking out some of them. Some of them are like cartoon. Like I love that.
mhm,
I love that. Now, one thing about you two, you're good. You could get a copy strike. So,
mhm.
what do you believe the rules are? The copy strikes of what the do's and don'ts?
In terms of the cartoons that I'm using, or
Just in general with the music and the cartoons.
well, with you mean as far as my channel's concerned? I can,
Yeah, it's like if I say to you, Lady T, look,
yeah.
I need do you do logos or you just do graphic arts?
I do
As far
logos, graphic arts, intros, and things like that. When it comes to getting using others other artwork, I use PNGs from websites where I get the licensing from, and it can be used on websites and things like that. But if that person wanted to do T-shirts or create a T-shirt line, then it would get a little bit more pricey because I would have to pay for the licensing for them to be able to sell it, because the difference happens when they're making money from the artwork. Now you can get around copyright issues in regard to using people's works when you create it to be a parody. There's like, how like with the fair use laws,
acts. Hmm.
yeah, acts, there's a provision for parody. So like let's say
What
somebody
does parody mean?
So let's say there's a company, a law firm who wants to use Superman's image, right?
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
they take Superman and they put him in a suit and they have him like, flying, and it says, let us be your hero. that's considered a parody, and you can kind of get around those copyright laws if you change the same way like with your with YouTube music and stuff like that. If you change it up enough and it becomes your own, and it no longer like really
I get it.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so, that does happen. So when it comes to the, and oftentimes like I prefer to use either lettering and copy free backgrounds and things like that. What ends up happening sometimes, and I'll use people's pictures, but it's hard sometimes because sometimes people are taking pictures and it's not like the best lighting, or they're not really professional, so it's kind of hard to manipulate the way I would like. And for the most part, the music that I've used for intros, like Tony Daly's intro, the
Yeah,
music,
I like hers. I like
yeah,
Tony Daly. I follow her.
copy free music. It's not copyrighted music. Obviously QB owns the rights to his music. That's his. Those are his songs. So, you know, there's no copyright strike. You know, the music.
So how do you prove that you own it? Because I'm in a part of a movement called Sofa House Nation, and
Mm-hmm.
they had their own music made. And then when I put it up with the video, YouTube, strike me and told me it was copywritten, and I'm like, what?
You
Am
reach out to whoever created the music on Sofa
uh-huh.
and get the licensing. The licensing from
Well,
them.
how about if they didn't do it because they made it right up out of their studio and there is no licensing? They took the beats and everything and they made it up themselves. So how do you do that?
I'm not sure. They didn't get it licensed, but it's automatically like certain things are automatically copywritten. I'm not sure why that's.
Yeah, because it's called Sofa House Nation, and they made the song called the beats and everything called Sofa House Nation. It's that, and it's so cool. And it was like I did it, I edited it and put it in
They didn't
3 of
sample
their
anything.
videos, and it struck me, and I was like,
Sample
oh
anything?
God, huh?
They didn't sample anything.
No. Mm-mm.
I would have to take a look at the video because did you take a look and see what they were striking you for? Like, was it the mute? Was it that particular song, or was
They
it?
said in behalf of King Finesse, such and such a was called something records. And I went to my partner and I told him that, look, they're striking us for this. I thought this was our song. He said, yes, it's our anthem. What are they talking about? So he told me that until he straightens it out, take it off.
Mm-hmm,
So and he got frustrated and he was like, I'm gonna personally make my own.
mm-hmm.
And he's a professional DJ too, so he's learning to make his own beats. That's a good.
Oh, but wait a
Now,
minute. He's not making his own beats. That means he's sampling. And if he's sampling, then that's why you only getting copyright.
what do you mean by sampling?
Sampling is taking a a part of a song and
Of
you may
someone
loop it,
else's?
yeah, of someone else's, and you may loop it, you may, make it your own, but they can detect it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay, I'll bring that to his attention. The
yeah.
song is really good. If you go on YouTube and click on Soulful House Nation,
Mhm.
and you'll get to hear the song.
Mhm.
Hmm. So it's still up for review.
Okay.
Yeah. And now I love the cartoons because that's what I'm interested in myself. Now,
Mhm.
to make the cartoon, you would take a picture of myself and make it into a cartoon?
I can do that. That will cost you because that's really time consuming to cartoon your personal image. But for someone like Ask April, I just ended up finding finding one that looked like her. She looked just like her. And so I manipulated it so much that, it becomes a parody. And then now, and she's not selling it. She's not selling the image. It's just housed on her YouTube banner. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, if she were making money from it, would be different.
Well, meaning that she took that and put it on a T-shirt, it'll be
Yeah,
different.
yeah.
Uh,
I would have to get the licensing, which is not
uh,
impossible.
which is what?
Not impossible.
Okay.
It's costly. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Does it cost a lot?
It depends on the artist.
Okay.
Yeah, it could be quite cheap, or it could run you. I've seen it from $20 to 200.
Okay. Okay. Because I was wondering if I was going to have to go on Fiverr. I was like, I need a logo, a new logo,
Mm-hmm.
and I need a intro. And I
Mm-hmm.
really wanted a cartoon intro. I really did. And
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to it represent me, you know, I'm a cancer survivor, so everything that I do is my reality after cancer. So that's cooking, that's the DIYs, that's interviewing people. It's like I wear a lot of hats, so I don't know where exactly what I do, but I do know I need a logo and I need a cool intro.
Mm-hmm.
Like Bewitch or something.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, and have something that's really cool you
Mm-hmm.
know and I'm not a young chicken anymore either, so it's not like and I'm a full figure woman. Now, I don't want all my lumps shown, but only a few.
But there's ways to also animate your regular videos. Like I could take this one right here and
Hmm.
make it look like a cartoon.
I
Hmm.
see. I
Which I've been
see.
trying to convince. My friend wants to start his own cartoons, and I'm not an animator. Like I do graphic design. I'm not an animator. So he's like, yeah, I want you. And I'm like, look, why don't you get actors? We'll film it, and then I can animate that. But if you want me to like draw, I can draw a little something. That's another talent. I can draw. I need to get I need to upgrade my
Software.
yeah, so that way I need like a iPad and a pen so that I can
Hmm.
start drawing on my iPad, because I've tried to do it on my computer and it just like my drawings aren't coming out the way I want them to. But
They do have that. It's a pad. It's like $20. I have brought quite a few of them and gave them out as gifts. You
mm-hmm,
hook them up to your computer, yeah, and they're like $20 on up.
mm-hmm. Yeah,
Hmm.
one of
You hook
those
them up
start,
to your
start
computer, and
drawing
you
again.
have the stylus pen, and you just draw.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
So that'll be coming soon.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That'll be great, and add that right there. So, all right. Well, we're coming right down to the wire. Is there
Mhm.
anything that you would like to speak about to tell our listening audience
Well,
about you?
well, you I know one of the things that you were wanting me to do. I do have a special going until midnight tonight. You can take a look on my channel and see the different special offers that I have. It's a sale video up. So I have a 24-hour sale going on for my graphics if you want to, kind of book your spot
Hmm.
with me. And in regards to, I think I'm going to be on a panel coming up soon. So, and that's going to be like a weekly panel, but I don't want to speak too much about it because I just literally had the conversation before I jumped on the line with you.
All right. So
Yeah,
you're gonna have, or how are you gonna advertise it on your
I
page?
will be advertising it on my page.
Hmm.
In addition to that, it's not really much more that I necessarily, I don't know if I think I covered a lot of things that I didn't even expect to talk about today. And I'm really curious if your grandkids went to the same dance school. But in terms of I will be on Saturdays having a dance class coming up, so that way we can, so Saturdays it'll be some sort of a dance class. It may not be Caribbean, but it'll be something that,
Now, are you gonna be streaming this live?
yeah, it'll be streamed live. And then on Wednesdays, I'm gonna be interviewing people, and we're gonna end the show with like a little word association. So they'll like I'll say a word and they'll sing whatever song comes to mind. So that's gonna be starting on not Wednesdays. Not Wednesdays.
In the evening?
It'll be in the evening, but that's not Wednesdays. I have my Watch Me Work Wednesdays where you can watch me do whatever graphics I'm doing. I'm not sure when the interviews will be. I'm thinking Fridays. So it'll be Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, Saturdays, and that's it. The rest of the days are for me.
Oh yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you. Okay. So your panel, is it a all women's
It's an
panel?
old female panel.
Is it women empowerment or just different subjects?
Just different subjects. It'll be like pop culture discussions, or the panel's topics will change from week to week, but we'll cover pop culture. We'll cover issues that are important to women.
Okay, so there's not beefing.
No
Good,
beef.
good, good. I'm so glad that people are moving to the right of that and not to the left of it.
Yeah.
I'm glad. I'm glad because this beefing been hurting a lot of people.
Yeah, I if you've watched any of my videos, I've never really been for it. I came into this sector as a spectator, and when I
Got
started,
caught up in it.
yeah, and not even, but I mean, people say caught up in it, but what beef I've been a part of? I've just modded for people who may be beefing, so. A lot of times you get associated.
Well, I hope the people that are beefing that the year of 2020, they'll use stuff to uplift and not hurt anyone, although they may be convinced that it's a gag for kicks and giggles. We're hurting people and making fun of at their demise is not, it's not funny. It's not funny. And those are the kind of things that happen to you when you have a loved one and dies and someone sends black roses and things like that. That's not cool. That's not cool at all. We should be able to hear someone have a loss and be there to lift up, not sit there and put on a shield for all the darts and the daggers that are coming our way. We have enough of that walking outside and dealing with everyday life for our life to be full of chaos all the way around, especially when you come in your house. When you come in your house, you should have peace. The internet should not be used for evil. It should be used to encourage.
And there's talent on here. And like you said earlier, there's so much talent. There's so much money to be made. I don't understand why that's not.
You don't have to. Everybody can cook. And those who don't know how to cook
you
can look at a video and cook and film yourself looking at a video cooking. So they'll see and say, wow, this was easy for me, for somebody to know how to cook that doesn't know how to cook. So if I don't know how to cook something and I'm filming someone that is showing me how to cook and I'm filming myself, that's content right there, and it shows them. I want
to do once I upgrade, not even upgrade my kitchen. Once my landlord decides to replace my stove like he's supposed to, I wanted to do like mimic some recipes that I saw on Lizzie Lou's channel. You know Lizzie Lou? Okay, Lizzie Lou, Stovetop Kisses, and Divas Can Cook.
Yeah, Diva can cook. She's been on for a good minute. She's been on for a good minute.
Stovetop Kisses. Get into Stovetop Kisses. Oh, if you like Divas Can Cook, you're gonna love Stovetop Kisses.
Divas Can Cook. She's on, but she's not on like as much as she used to be.
Right. She'll come on like she did a video maybe a week or two ago, but it's been even then before that. It was like 2 weeks or 3 weeks before that, and then the time before that it was like Thanksgiving. She's been coming on.
Yeah. Because when her boys were young, she was on a lot. Now she's not on all the time like she used to. So she must be involved in something that's taken a lot of her time.
She might be getting into some sort of a deal, or maybe she's coming out with her
cookbook or something. Yeah, and she's spending her time that way. Yes, but yes, I've watched her. But if you don't know how to look, I look at it this way: if you don't know how to do it, YouTube it, and you find the one that works for you. Like I'm learning how to make jelly. I can't wait to make homemade jelly and preservatives. And
I
I'm
would
trying
love
to,
to get into canning. I don't know. I love strawberry preserves. So I would love to get into that. Yeah, go.
it is so easy. I studied it. And then I study it so much, it's like, man, I could do this like the back of my hand. I brought everything to go and do it, and all I have to do is do it. I
You know.
have to, yeah, I have to do it. I have a great grandson,
Mhm,
and he demands a lot of time from me. And he has autism. So when he comes in, when he comes in from school,
mhm,
he's like all over me. And I don't get a break till about 11 o'clock when
mhm.
he goes to sleep. He even goes to sleep. He has that much energy.
But
Goes
he
to sleep.
almost burns the midnight oil. Does he draw?
No, he doesn't. He used to. He doesn't anymore. He has his iPad and he has this thing with dinosaurs. So
Mhm,
he watches dinosaur. He can name every dinosaur that there is.
mhm. Yeah, usually autistic kids they have, first off, they have like this gift for drawing because their memory is there's something with their memory. And
Mm-hmm.
I saw my former dance student, her brother was autistic, and they took
Mm-hmm.
a train ride to Queens, and he came back and he drew the entire subway like scene. Um,
Wow.
and I was floored. Like it was amazing.
Mm,
So
yeah, he
yeah.
draws with his iPad. He does the birds and he does the Tyrannosaurus Rex and all this. And he does pretty close with it. He's still learning a little bit better with his motor skills, you know. And but he could sit there and he'll recite every dinosaur, and to
Mhm.
me they almost all look the same. And he goes, no, 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 and he'll look at Jurassic Park over and over and over and over to the point where he's able to mimic everything and say every line in the movie,
Mhm.
you
Mhm.
know. But he's when he wants to be good, he's a sweet little boy. So he's a spoiled autistic boy. So you can imagine
Mhm.
the combination with that boy. When he goes in his rare form, it's like, oh God. My marbles in my brain are all scrambled, and I'm like, oh my God, Nehemiah, please, please. No, please, no, please. I'm not happy. I'm not happy. No, please, no, please. You got to do it this way. And if it don't come out exactly the way it's planned in his head, and it's lined up. His toys got to be lined up right. If it's
Mhm.
off and I'm not seeing what he's seeing and I'm trying and he's screaming, that's not the way it's supposed to go. And I'm like, oh God, I'm having a meltdown.
Mhm. Mhm.
But when he's sweet, oh my God, this boy is so sweet. And he's a very handsome little boy too. I was like, I would love to get him into photos, you know, and photography and modeling. He is a
Well,
handsome boy.
since you're in the area, look up. Oh Lord.
You know, and I know that now they take children with special needs and they you know, and he's a handsome boy. He's got sandy blonde hair with carrot, like orange carrot highlights in his hair,
Oh wow.
and his hair comes past his shoulder blade because you know we won't get it cut because
Uh,
he's you know he's scared of the barber. So
mhm.
his hair, he's got very very long hair, and it's not that straight, but it's not real curly either. He has beautiful hair, sandy blonde with red highlights, orange, not even red, orange
Look up Abrams
highlights.
artist. Look up Abrams artist. That's the name of it. That age.
Abrams artist, okay.
Okay.
He loves the camera. He'll get in a camera in a minute and smile and
Mhm.
pose. He'll get into a camera.
Mhm.
And one thing, he's verbal. He's very verbal.
Mhm.
So, oh my God, is he verbal? He will speak his mind, and you have to listen. He's always getting in trouble in school,
Mhm.
always because he talks too
Autistic kids
much.
make the best performers in that sort of arena because they are able to be directed so well because they really like I used to have autistic kids in my class. I could tell the ones who had autism, because sometimes you're working and they won't even tell you. Like it's just a lot of backwards things. But I would always know, because whatever I did, they did exactly what I did. To where if I would just go to scratch my head, they're so into doing whatever I'm doing in front of them in the class. I see them, I'm like, oh, okay.
Well, he has a problem with stemming, and the teachers aren't, they're not training these kids. They said, oh, we have him mixed up with the regular kids because he's not what it calls. They considered him like mild autistic with the autism, but he stems and he has to have something in his hand and he shakes it. And I know the problem is that when he starts to stem, it must either distracts the kids and it distracts the teacher, and it makes them crazy, because sometimes the stemming gets crazy with us. He'll start rocking, he'll do it real quick, and we'll have to say, hey, calm down with the stemming. Whoa. And he has a hanger. I don't know, he likes doing it with the black hanger with the metal curve. And I can hear it making whipping noises. So I think it's the noise that he's addicted to.
Right.
And it has to, I mean, if you go from a hanger, he has to look at it, and then he'll shake it and goes, nope, this is not the one. Nope, this is not the one.
Specific one.
Yeah, it has to have a certain sound. Yeah. So when we go shopping, we always get all the hangers. We ask, can we have the hangers that are on the clothes? Because he's got to test them to see which one, and it drives my granddaughter crazy. She says, this is oh my God, he's gonna let everybody know he's a retard. He's shaking I said, let him shake it. Oh my God. But
That's his sister?
No, his mother.
Oh.
Yeah, she has challenges in accepting his anything.
Oh.
Yeah, but we don't. So that's okay. We don't. We know when to step in and say, okay, look, we'll take over from here. She's young. These young moms don't know how.
I've
seen that happen. Well, it's right down to the wire. I thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me. I'm so honored that you thought of me. Thank you so much.
What it was is that Ask Rachel said your name. Oh, and I was like, oh, sure. And what's her name? I said, I'll reach out to her, sure. But you know what? Those that are listening, if you want to come on my show, my email address is trbroadcastmedia. I am experienced in the media. I used to have my own internet radio show where I had 196 countries watching me. It's just that where I was doing it at, he has shut down and left the arts building where he was recording at. I also been co-host for a couple of radio shows, and even like I said, I had my own, and I had 196 countries watching. Wow. And it's a little different than YouTube, so I'm getting back into the groove. I'm well known on Facebook, and I have 2 accounts on Facebook because I max them out.
Oh wow!
So yeah, I am well known. I'm just not well known on this media sector. So
and your Facebook people will follow you here, because I followed quite a few people from their Facebook over to YouTube.
Yeah. YouTube. Well, I hope so, because YouTube new rules, man, they're pretty steep and meeting now. We're talking about 4,000 subbies. No, subbies.
No, it's 1,000 subbies, 4,000 watch hours.
That's now, but as of April, it's 4,000 subbies and 10,000 watch hours.
Right, so you have to get to it before April.
Oh, it is April? I thought it was in mid-February.
As of April.
Oh.
Wait, you're saying as of April? This April coming?
No, February. This February.
This February coming is changing.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, wow.
And that's not much time to get in
1,000 people.
Yeah, 1,000 people. If I can get 1,000 people, then I can be grandfathered in for the watch hours.
Mm.
But look, what God has for me, He has for me, and I do what I can. I'd rather have quality than a whole bunch of quantity and
And
it
then,
go haywire. Yeah, and
yeah.
it's just I'm just gonna have to work harder,
Hmm.
and our people are gonna have to get out of the mindset. A lot of people got their high numbers because of the beefing. If they didn't have the beefing, their numbers wouldn't be that high. And I'm not willing to beef for subs. I'm not doing
Hmm.
that.
Hmm.
I'm not, selling my soul for that. That is just so, and as far as morals go, that is just so wrong. I do not get off and feel happy or laugh about somebody's demise. I really don't. I really don't. When I
Hmm.
was coming up, we didn't do stuff like that, man. Are you kidding me? And I came up when there was segregation. So all we had was one another,
Hmm. Hmm.
and that's something, we didn't even use the N word because our oppressors used it as a derogatory remark, so, we would use the word Negro, but not the N, and,
Yeah, I understand.
yeah, so it's like and calling women bitchs and ooh, that
Hmm.
just gets me. But then I guess you could tell what era I'm from, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel like you and my mom are around the same age bracket, especially.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in my mid 60s, and it's like, mm-mm, mm-mm. I know how to be rejected. I know how it was for the oppressor to use the N-word, and although with my skin being so light, it was like you didn't fit in with them because you weren't white, and you really didn't fit in too much of your own because you weren't considered Negro.
Right.
So it was really hard. So,
You
we were
grew up in the
considered
tri-state
Negro or
area?
colored people.
You
Hmm.
grew up in the tri-state area, or you grew up somewhere else?
No, I grew up here.
Mhm. Mhm.
Hmm. I grew up here. My both of my parents are black. It just so happens that my father has a mixed line in with him, but basically on his birth certificate says, um, I think it says colored or Negro. I don't remember.
Mhm.
Uh-huh. It
I'm
says
pretty sure.
colored or Negro.
I think my mom's says colored.
Yeah, because those are the words that they put us in. That's the
Yeah.
sector they put us in. You're either colored or you were white.
I wonder
And
if
that's
yeah, I wonder. I don't have my original birth certificate, and I saw it only one time when I was a kid because I didn't have a name for weeks, and so it said girl, like it didn't have a name, and I can't remember. I think I was black. I'm pretty sure I was black.
hmm
I think
I think black is more appropriate than African American because all of us are not
from
African.
Africa.
All of us are not African, you
Oh,
know?
yeah, and like I mean, the more research I'm doing, the more I'm realizing that some of us were from here.
Yeah, some of us were right from here, some of us were from England.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Some of them was from the Dominican Republic, going some of was from um like they call it the motherland, but
Mhm.
not Africa motherland.
Cuba?
More towards Egypt, spreading out that
Oh
way.
yeah. Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Hmm. Yeah, so yeah, black is more inclusive. It's more encompassing. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. African American is like, I'm not from Africa.
Hmm.
And we find out with your DNA, when you find out I'm not from, there's many of us that are, but a lot of us are from the Caribbean too.
Right. And then the thing that I'm just like hesitant with that DNA testing is, well, I mean, there's a lot of reasons why I'm hesitant, but it's like, why isn't any of the dots landing in the Caribbean? Everything's like, leading back to Africa, and I'm like, I know that's not to be true. I can look at my family's faces and see, and this is like not to say, of course, I love Africa. I have a lot of experience, like it's been a part of my life for so long with the African dancing, with the different Broadway shows. Like one of my favorite shows was Sarafina, so I have an affinity for Africa. But I'm just saying that I know just having my common sense and my education that with that transatlantic, we were, the Caribbean plays a big part. So how is this that everybody that gets their DNA test done, the dots are ending up in Africa? It's just so skewed and weird to me. Like, I'm not.
Well, Africa could have been the motherland. And then when they brought us out, the colonizers, when they came out, they went right to the Caribbeans.
Right.
There was, we think we had slavery. The Caribbean was 10 times worse. They were 10 times worse. Haiti, the Caribbeans all out there, it was 10 times worse. And I can't even phantom in my brain for it to be 10 times worse, knowing what they did over here in the United States. It was like, oh my God.
That kind of, like, we've seen a lot of movies that depict slavery, but the one that I think depicts it the most, and it's really raw, and it's like, brace yourself if you decide to watch it, if you have not watched it.
Armistead?
No, nothing. Armistead is like, I can't even explain. Like, it's like PG, it's like rated G compared to this movie.
Really?
Yes, it's called Goodbye, Uncle Tom.
And where we get that on YouTube? We can get that on YouTube?
YouTube. Goodbye,
all right.
Uncle
Tom. Goodbye, Uncle Tom.
All I'm saying, there was a fair warning. Brace yourself. Brace yourself.
I'm going to have to check that out.
Brace yourself. It's a European movie. Like the director or the writers or whatever. It's a European movie, but to me, I feel like that's probably the most, like, that's what slavery truly looked like. Like, if you wanted to get into it, like, the raw is kind of like, I've had people watch it and they said they thought it was actual footage. I'm like, how do you think that they got extra footage?
I know in DC they have the museum of all the things that they used on us. I don't know if I would be able to go there because I don't know.
It's
some place.
It's beautiful.
Is it? You don't feel the
because and it's interesting because the lady that this lady that I worked with, her best friend was part of the architecture for the
Do you feel the slave spirits in there?
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Okay, when you first go in, right? I remember.
Wait a minute. Is it an actual equipment that actually were used on slaves? Oh, so that, yes, you're gonna feel their spirit.
Yeah, that's what I said. I'm not gonna sit there and lie to you. So,
oh
gosh, the woman I worked with, her friend worked on the architecture, and I was able to ask this question. I got the answer because when you first go in, you get on this elevator. Like, the best way to do it is in order. So you got to go down. And when you get on the elevator, the way that the elevator looks, like, it's clear glass, but you see like this metal on the side. I'm like, I said, oh, out loud, because it dawned on me. I said, oh, we're going down into the ship. And one of the white girls was like, cool. I was like, it don't feel cool.
No, fast. Because you were identifying, you were connecting. That's like, why.
Oh, we're going to the bottom of the boat. And that's how they take you, from the bottom of the boat. But then what happens is, as you go, it's beautiful because as you go through it, you're gonna feel it. You're gonna feel it. You're gonna feel it. You're gonna get to Emmett Till's. You're gonna get to Emmett Till's coffin, and you're gonna go through it. I'm still going through it. You can feel, you hear it. My voice cracked. But then you get up to the coming out to the civil rights movement, and you see the Nation of Islam, and you see in the Fruits of Islam, not costumes, but the Fruit of Islam.
Their attire,
exactly. And then you get to the rap, and you get to see Oprah, and you're like, oh wow, there's Queen Latifah, and like, oh,
so it kind of brings your spirits up. Yeah.
By the time you get to the top, you feel like, empowered, but it's going to take you. It's a journey. I wouldn't even lie, but I would say go. Just go.
Okay. This tomorrow at 8:30, our women's panel is going to be on.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll tune in. I'll tune in definitely.
Yes, yes, yes. Now, story time with Shay Johns. She said, "Where can we see the movie? What's the name of the movie
The
again?"
name of the movie. Let me put it in the chat if I can. The name of the movie is called. How come I can't see where I can type into the chat? The name of the movie is Goodbye, Uncle Tom. Let me see if I could get it into the chat. I'm gonna try to put the. Let me.
And that's on YouTube, right?
Yes, it's on YouTube. Let me just make sure I'm saying the title right. Oh yes, it's called Goodbye, Uncle Tom.
Okay, I just put it in there.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, our panel is going to be, I believe, of 5 women,
Mm-hmm.
and it's all related to cancer. Either they were a caregiver or they actually had the cancer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about our experience, and hopefully um, we'll be able to reach a lot of African American women, women of color, because it's growing in women of color.
Mm-hmm.
Really, the breast cancer, the ovarian cancer, those are the two biggest. And then after that is colon cancer, which hits anyone. And you also have to remember, breast cancer it's not just women anymore.
Yes.
Men are getting it too now. That's how bad it is. And I'm blessed where I'm a survivor. I'm a stage 3 breast cancer survivor.
Amen.
I still have my right breast,
Mm-hmm.
so they took the tumor out of the white breast, and I fought it for 2 years, and touch and go,
Mm-hmm.
but I was able to make it. It took me 2 years because the chemo will have me so sick that every time I did chemo, I would end up in a hospital, and when you're sick, you can't do chemo.
Oh wow.
So yeah, you can't do chemo. Your immune system it's like an autoimmune system. Like, how like someone who has full blown AIDS,
Mm-hmm.
it's like that, and you can't fight anything. I couldn't even fight off a prick from a rose bush. It put me in the hospital. So really, it's really, and you'll get to learn the details and experience not only from those who went through, but as a caregiver. And people need to realize that when a person gets cancer, it doesn't just affect them, it affects everyone in that household.
Mm-hmm. I think
It's like,
not to make light of it, but I think that that's what was happening to Nene Leakes. Like why she was so kind of mean and emotional that season when her husband had cancer. I think that it was affecting her because she was the caregiver, and I think that she was like an emotional.
yeah, but she wasn't very nice to him though.
Right. I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
she wasn't very nice. So she didn't handle it very well. She didn't handle it with love. She cared for him, but not everybody's built for it. When I was going through it, Lady T, I allow God to point the right ones in my life, because the ones that you think should be there were never the ones that were there, and not only that, you basically fight it by yourself, although you have other people around to encourage you.
Mm,
But they used to say to me, "Well, you have to fight, you have to fight." And I'd be like, "What the hell you think I'm doing?
mm-hmm,
I'm still here. I didn't give up."
mm,
It's hard to fight when you sit there, when you can't even lift up oh my God. I couldn't even say the Lord's name. I only grunted it, Jesus.
mm,
I
mm.
could only go, mm-mm, mm-mm.
That's how much.
That's how sick I was. I couldn't even open up my mouth and call on the Lord's name. I
Mm,
grunted it.
mm, mm, mm,
So it's like when you go through those things, it's horrible. I don't wish that on anybody. It is horrible.
mm.
And those who lost their fight, they really didn't lose their fight. They just said no more, and you're not going to bother me no more, and I'd rather just go home with the Lord. So I
Mhm.
also look at, for those that passed, not that they gave up, they didn't give up. They just chose another path in the fight. That's all.
I lost two people very close to me. Many more, but my cousin and my mom's best friend. That that my cousin was rough, and they were back to back 2 weeks apart.
Let me tell you something before I shut this down.
Mhm.
Ovarian cancer are reaching young girls at the age of 16.
Mhm. That's like sometimes due to STDs and things like that, correct?
Not only STDs, but they're put on birth control pills at a very young age.
Oh.
All right. And that's automatically, they tell you, it messes with the hormones, it messes with
Mhm.
everything. So if they're on birth control at 12 years old, 15,
Mhm.
16, 17 years old, it's messing with the reproductive system. They're ending up with fibroids at a very young age, you know, and it's not even counting for the STDs. You
Mm.
don't even have to have sex to have cancer of the uterus or
Mhm.
whatever. Cancer is entering the body through chemicals.
Yeah, because I'm thinking that colon cancer has a lot to do with what you're eating, I would think.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And once it gets infected, then it wants to spread.
And from my understanding, breast cancer often is due to the deodorants we're using. Somebody was telling me this. I don't know how true that is.
Yes, it assists to that, and not only the deodorant, your bra too. It
Oh,
messes with the lymph nodes. That's why they say
yeah.
never have metal. If you're gonna use it, have plastic. That metal gets into your system.
Oh,
Mm.
oh, thank you.
Yeah, yep, yep, yep. Go to bed with no bra on. When my breasts start acting up because of the operation and the muscles, I can't wear a bra. I'll walk around. You'll see me from here up because I don't have a bra on.
I,
It
I,
hurts.
I don't wear
It
one
hurts.
often. I don't wear one often. I don't know if it's a dancer in me, but I literally start. Well, I don't care. I literally start stripping from the door.
I know, like most of us, get everything that's tight off. But yeah, your bra.
Mhm.
That's one thing on my page. I'm going to show people how to make deodorant. It's really easy.
Okay. Hmm.
And it's really easy. You'll have it right in your cabinet.
Mm.
Everything that really basically whatever you can eat, you can wear.
Yeah, I make skincare. I haven't gotten into making deodorant, but I do make skincare.
Deodorant is you could use a clay,
Uh-huh.
bent night clay.
Yeah, and that's good for absorbing the toxins out. It sucks the
Yeah,
toxins
you can
out.
make a mask underneath your arm and do it like once a month to
Hmm.
draw the toxins out. After a while, it'll draw it out and you won't have that stinky smell. You could use that, a little bit of baking soda, but you have to be careful of the baking soda because baking soda has aluminum in it. So you have to buy the baking soda that doesn't have the aluminum.
Oh,
And then you use it and then you mix it with some coconut oil.
right.
Uh-huh. And then you just put it underneath your arm. Now you got to remember the difference between deodorant and antiperspirants.
Hmm.
Antiperspirants are more of a danger. They actually clog the pores to keep them from sweating. Your body has to sweat in order to release toxins. So
Mm.
although you may use deodorant, you may sweat, but you don't smell. And after a while, when you detox your armpits, you can detox like maybe once every 2 weeks until you'll find out that there will be no stink. Now, with me, I only have to use deodorant underneath one arm
Oh, because otherwise
because,
it smell.
and no, it doesn't smell. The one that I had the surgery, with the cancer,
Mhm.
the radiation burnt everything and the follicles, everything. So I get nothing from there. I don't even sweat
Wow.
from that arm, but the other arm I have to worry about. But yes, um, if you can, because we like to look like we're firm and the boobs boosted up, it has to be plastic. If you're going to do it, let it be plastic. It cannot be metal.
That duly noted. How do you know it's plastic inside though?
By the way it feels. hmm You
Yeah.
know what is plastic and what's not. Plastic you can't bend.
Mm.
Metal you can. You can shape and bend. Plastic is plastic. It stays its form.
Mhm.
But metal, that's why they tell you not to put your bras in the dryer because it gets all tangled up and it gets all disfigured because of the metal in it. And you
Mhm.
can, like what I do, I put a little slit in it, and
Mhm.
I pull it right out.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, but it's not healthy. You
Wow.
know, just like if you have metal in your teeth now, you know, get them all taken out and they put porcelain in. Metal is not good for the body. It poisons the body.
Okay.
Okay.
I will make note of that. Oh,
Okay, well, you know, don't forget that we'll be on tomorrow at 8:30, and I believe it's Miss, I don't know, B Brown. Are you still there? If so, what panel is it going to be on? Whose channel? You there? I'm waiting for her to answer. Huh?
she said bye.
Oh, she said bye.
Mhm.
Oh, she did say bye. Okay, well, it'll get posted.
I'm
All
sure.
right, you know, hit on to her, Miss B Town.
Okay.
Hit, yeah, subscribe to her.
I think I am
Subscribe to
actually.
yeah, and to Storytime with Shay. She's on our panel too.
Okay, I'll subscribe
And
to both.
then what that way we will let you know. Okay, girl, blessing. And anytime, you
God
know,
bless.
you anybody that you know that may want to come on my show, just give them my information and
I
let them hit me up via email, and we just work out a time, you know. But it was such a pleasure interviewing you. I'm glad that you were able to come on. I'm
I
sorry for the mix up.
some say
Yeah.
put on YouTube because I went to go put on the YouTube so I could brush my hair into a ponytail, and then I saw you were live, and I'm like, what's she doing live? And then I just jumped in the chat, and I'm glad I did.
Yeah, and hopefully it's also showing on Facebook at the same time because I have multi-streaming with
Oh,
them.
all righty.
Yeah. And I'll get in contact with you because I'm interested in a logo and a banner.
All right, sure, no problem. I'll talk with you soon. Thank you for having me.
All right, blessings. Bye bye.
Bless. Peace.
Well, thank you guys for hanging in there. And also, I want to mention that we'll be on tomorrow. The Women of Wisdom. That's what we're called. Women of Wisdom. Wednesday, we're going to be on every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the topic is tomorrow is regarding cancer. Now, I am a cancer survivor. We have two survivors and two caregivers. So, yeah, that's what that's going to be all about. And I hope you tune in. In the meantime, be a blessing and smile at someone. And remember, knowledge is power. Check you later. Bye bye.